Hey everybody, welcome. It's time for another pickups video here today. It's the end of May. Let's go over some stuff. There's a couple small themes going on with this. They'll be pretty clear pretty quickly once we get to those individual sections. Start with the Switch. This is my PlayAsia order from like 2 months ago that was waiting on this one. This pre-order Forever Blue Luminous or Endless Ocean Luminous. Very excited to see Endless Ocean back after the 2 games on the Wii, and then being another Nintendo franchise that we didn't really see a whole lot from. This one's focused on procedurally generated areas to go explore and stuff, and also being able to group up with people online, which is not so much of an interest to me, but filling out catalogs and bestiaries and encyclopedias and a very nice, calming underwater area to explore that's always going to be changing up is pretty cool. We've got... Actually, I'm going to put these two together. There's 2 games that I had the first game in a series of, but then found out Baten Kaitos, we knew that was a big announcement, a really cool thing that happened last year. And then I also found out that there was a second retro game challenge, and that there was a collection of them for the Switch. So this, I would have never been able to get my hands on the second one, really. So instead of the first games on the original consoles, I now have the collection for Baten Kaitos 1 and 2, and Retro Game Challenge on the Switch now, so you can check those out. Retro Game Challenge is a really cool game on the DS that you might have seen before. That is like before a lot of like retro inspired like indie games necessarily became a thing. Like right when we were at the beginning of that, it was like a narrative focused thing on there was like a bunch of mini games, and there was like a story about like a villainous, like, I think it was the host of like this show, but like taking over like the game console and making the kids do challenges. It was cool. It was on the DS. It was very interesting stuff. Definitely up my alley. And then another collection. This is a Mom Hid My Game collection. I don't know if everyone remembers, like right when the Switch came out, this was like one of those earliest like weird games that you gotta try. And then I never did, but it has 4 games altogether in the series, and I think this was on PlayAsia for only like $25, so I added up to my order. Definitely gonna be some fun, weird stuff going on with that. And then one of my best friend's personal favorite games, and as well as one of my partners, Lisa Definitive Edition. This is actually one from Serenity Forge, so it's a mostly presented in English on the packaging and stuff. So you get Lisa the Painful and of course Lisa the Joyful, which is the free like DLC. And there's a whole bunch of extras even in this regular standard edition. So you get stickers. Yeah, stickers here, and then postcards. And there's actually multiple reversible covers. Altogether, you could have 4 different... There's 4 different covers that you could use. So that's pretty fun, too. And it's like a... very heavily inspired by, like, Earthbound RPG with a lot of really, really dark themes. But it's been a lot of fun. That's it for Switch games. Let's grab a couple of just oddball stuff here. I finally pulled the trigger on NHL 2002 for the GameBoy Advance. I've been wanting that for a really long time. It's a pretty hard game to find, actually. It's for, a sports game. If you see like the Maddens and the FIFAs and the baseballs, they'll go for like, $5, nothing. But this is like a $25 to $30 Game Boy Advance game. It's the only one that they did. It's basically, actually, I'm gonna say one more thing about it. It's basically the SNES NHL 96 updated for the 2002. So it's a little trippy when you see the same menus and everything from NHL 96, and then you have like the Atlanta Thrashers and the Nashville Predators logo and stuff. So yeah, that's basically what that is. It plays really well, of course, because of that. This is just like a beat up copy of the Pagemaster for Super Nintendo. I'm not sure if this is a good game at all, really, but I do like the Pagemaster a lot. I just picked it up pretty cheap. This is a boxed Rumble Pak. It's a really nice thing to have added to the shelf of like just very good display items. I already had a Rumble Pak technically in the original box with my complete Star Fox, but now I have one by itself. It's pretty cool. I got 2 DS games. Another one that I'd been looking for a long time. Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. I especially wanted to get this because I've been on like this Castlevania kick. And I really I just played Aria of Sorrow. It was amazing, and I actually just I had bought this before I started playing Aria of Sorrow, but then it kind of made me play Aria of Sorrow and be like, okay, well, I could play the direct sequel, and I could, play any of the DS ones that I'd never started before. And I mean, Aria of Sorrow was amazing, so definitely now glad that I have the direct sequel, and I've got all 3 DS ones, so that's a good thing. And this is not the original cover, but I got this Dungeon Explorer Warriors of Ancient Arts. Dungeon crawling hack and slash. Still, like, the Hudson Dungeon Explorer series, like, very weird that this, like, kept popping up here and there. You had the Sega CD, you had the TurboGrafx, and then there was a DS game. It's interesting. It looks pretty good, though. Alright, and the next major theme that we have, because this is the only things I got for PS2, but I finally got I was at the same flea market for $15. I picked up a small CRT TV, which is something I've wanted for a while now, and immediately got on grabbing some light gun games for the PS2, ones I don't have access to otherwise. So this is 4 major GunCon 2 compatible games, and I have the gun that I got is also GunCon 1 compatible, so I have been looking at some GunCon 1 games, but mostly I got these big ones right here right away. It was really hard not to just immediately buy every single GunCon game that I've not bought specifically because I didn't have the stuff for it. But now, yeah, I've got Ninja Assault, Dino Stalker, Vampire Knight, and the gold standard here, Time Crisis 3. And of course, there's 2 other Time Crises on PS2 alone. There's a handful of other PS2 light gun shooters and a bunch on PS1, like Area 51. That's probably the one that I want the most for the PS1 ones, especially the non-GunCon ones. But yeah, just having like 4 right off the bat that are like, and 3 of these are the Namco like self-published ones, and then Dino Stalker, the very silly Capcom one, but it's still the GunCon 2 full recommended. And it actually says you can play this with the regular controller, but this is a GunCon 2 recommended on the back. So that's, yeah, stuff I really, really wanted for a long time. Next, I'm going to do the PS5 ones last. I actually got 4 PS5 games here. But this one, another game that I wanted for a long time, and I was able to get this for like $60, so definitely worth jumping on this one. This is In the Hunt, and it's a long box one. It doesn't have the manual, unfortunately. That was a little bit of a bummer, but still $60 for In the Hunt. Just a gorgeous shoot 'em up for the PS1, published by Cocapelli, and it's one of the few games that I think you can get hands on consoles by Xing or Crossing. It's Xing. One of those companies from the 90s that made a lot of good arcade games and good shooters and stuff. And In the Hunt, just like if you see like the sprite work and just the really good like visual style, you'll see why In the Hunt is up to a really high standard. So, and yeah, $60 for this was a really good deal, even without the manual. All right, now we've got PS5. So start with the one that if you like follow like Woot and stuff, Woot, the company that's owned by Amazon that does weird closeout deals and stuff, you'll see that you could still probably get this for like $7. This is the Agatha Christie, Hercule Poirot, the London case. I've got a couple of these Hercule Poirot games like on DS and stuff. I'm not like obsessed with that particular series for detective games, but for like $7 for like a PS5 game that I would play, that was not bad. Another horror-themed game with these mini games that I'm like hesitant to pick up right away when I find them, but I definitely had an eye on. Ad Infinitum, which is cool because it's supposed to be like heavily focused on like World War One. So that's definitely the thing that interests me about that. But I don't know that much about it besides it. That was also, I think I got on Woot for like $15. So I waited a good amount on that. This is, for as much as I'm not really into a lot of Marvel stuff, this is Marvel Midnight Suns, which I heard was really good. It is a turn-based card game made by Firaxis, who did the like they do like Civilization, I know that, and I think they do XCOM on consoles. I'm not sure about that, but the Civilization thing, I definitely know them from that. And yeah, this game is supposed to be really good, so more about the style than the license for me. And then System Shock, full remake from Night Dive. This is actually $40. It's not a full price game, but I picked this up a week ago today, the day that it came out, and I was like, would you start playing that immediately when you got home? And I said yes, and I did, but I have not played it since that day because I've been very tired. But yeah, System Shock, ensuring hopefully that like I am voting with my wallet to make sure the System Shock 2 remake that they're working on also gets a physical release. And I mean, basically System Shock 1 and 2 are games that are very much up my alley that I've never really had access to, like other than like GOG, and then I've had a hard time, getting into it with it being the PC setup and everything. So this just being made for like, PS5 controller definitely appeals to me. And I mean, I love Night Dive. They're doing the Lord's work out here, so definitely willing to support them with whatever they're doing, and giving me access not just to remakes of Turok and Shadow Man and all these games that I already like in their original form, but like System Shock that I've never really had the same access to for my style. So yeah, quick one, that was it. Good stuff. Yep. Thanks for watching. Keep up with the website. I haven't gotten back onto the next game for the 64 yet, but I've been doing website stuff nonetheless. The next game is Donald Duck Going Quackers, which I will start sometime soon. And hopefully like in the next week and a half or so I can have a review for that, if I actually like get on top of it and start playing it. And yeah, thanks, I'll see you next month.